Now, a critical bloc of Republican voters who have been skeptical of Donald Trump throughout the primaries are evangelical Christians. Now, he's trying to win them over, speaking yesterday at the Faith and Freedom Coalition in Washington, a group of religious and social conservatives there, attacking Hillary Clinton and defending the right to worship freely.
Thank you very much. Religious freedom, the right of people of faith to freely practice their faith, so important. Freedom of any kind means no one should be judged by their race or their color and the color of their skin.
Joining us now, Penny Nance, who is the president of Concerned Women for America, author of the book Feisty and Feminine, a rallying cry for conservative women. She joins us now to talk more about Mr. Trump at this weekend's conference. And as we wait for Mr. Trump to address his supporters in Pennsylvania, I want to ask you, what was the reaction amongst the evangelical crowd there in D.C., knowing that many have had reservations about Mr. Trump, even though he is the presumptive nominee?
Uma, thanks for having me on. Yes, you know, that was a group of conservative activists. Concerned Women for America is a co-sponsor of the event. We had our state leaders. We had our Young Women for America college chapter presidents there. And, you know, they want to vote for a conservative. And so I think he did a good job of coming in right off the bat, addressing the issue of life. You heard just now religious freedom. He also talked about Israel. And those are three key issues for evangelicals. And so I thought it was very smart of him to come in and immediately try to put those to rest.
But up to now, some of the reservations have been along the lines of his personal life, of his marriages, his some people who believe that he has more of a social agenda that's much more liberal. How is he addressing some of those concerns with the crowd that he needs in this election?
Right. Well, I don't think anyone's laboring under the delusion that he's a Bible-banging, religious person. You know, he says he's a Presbyterian. We don't really know his heart, and there's certainly issues that we differ from him on. But you know, I think he did himself a favor by releasing the list of 11 Supreme Court possible nominees. That is also a very key issue. We know that touches every issue that we care about, and the next administration will choose between 1 and 4 Supreme Court justices. So that was actually one of my very key issues. There are others I'd love to discuss further with him, mainly Planned Parenthood. But I think he still has some work to do, but he certainly did himself a favor yesterday.
To that end, on Planned Parenthood, what is it specifically you'd like to ask him, since he has made no secret of the fact that he has supported that group's agenda in certain respects, in certain areas? What is it specifically that you hope you can talk to him about that will make you feel more comfortable as you move to support him?
Well, he needs to understand that $500 million in taxpayer funds are going to Planned Parenthood every year, and they're the #1 provider of abortion in this country. And in addition, they've been caught red-handed. They're under congressional investigation for selling little baby body parts, brains, heart, lungs, tongues. I think there is a lot he doesn't know. If the goal should be to help poor women, there's 13,000 community health centers around this country that provide not just gynecological care, but whole woman care. The #1 killer of women is heart disease. There's a lot we can do to support the health of women. Giving money to Planned Parenthood is not a good one.
I know you are among some of the high-profile women out there who are trying to get more supporters and women specifically, to back Mr. Trump. What are women within the GOP now saying, as it's very clear that he is the nominee going forward?
Right. Well, and let me just say, I have not personally endorsed Donald Trump. You know, there's still things I'd like to talk to him about, but there's two choices. And I think Bobby Jindal did a great job in the Wall Street Journal saying that, yes, you know, we don't particularly know necessarily what he'll do on everything, but unfortunately, Hillary Clinton is completely predictable. I've lived through the Clinton years. They were horrific in many ways, especially for social issues, and I don't want to go through that again. She is no friend to women. We lived through the days when women came forward and explained how they were hurt and abused by Bill Clinton, and she defended them. In fact, she went on TV and blamed conservatives for making it all up. She is not a friend of women. And so, yes, I have concerns with him, but I know that she is not someone I can support. He has my vote. The question is, how hard will we work for him?
And I want to quickly get your response to some of the headlines over the last 24 hours with Mitt Romney's remarks against Donald Trump. We're going to get into that a little bit more in the show later on, but I want to get your take on your initial reaction about Romney going after Trump in a very big way. Do you think it's going to be much more difficult for the party to unite behind Donald Trump with the former nominee out there in a big way saying it's a mistake to support him?
Listen, Donald Trump needs to watch what he says, and there's some things he needs to go back and clean up, no question. But I will say that, and I hear this from women, by the way, Uma, that women that have worked in the primary to support him, and by the way, I didn't support him in the primary, but the women that did are astounded by the fact that, Mitt Romney now is, coming out against him. I didn't support Mitt Romney in 2012 in the primary. I supported Rick Santorum. I endorsed him. I worked hard for Rick Santorum. But then when Romney won, I understood the differences in my vote between Obama and Mitt Romney. And so, of course, I called women to go vote, and we registered, women all over the country. I did a bus tour for Mitt Romney, for the issue of women coming to vote, conservative women coming to vote. And so, which in essence helped Mitt Romney. And so, I find it, troubling that now, after all of that, it just seems hypocritical that now he can't get on board and support the nominee. I don't understand it.
All right, Penny, thank you so much for joining us with your take and your insights.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. And keep us posted on what transpires over the next few weeks as we move closer to the convention.
Thank you.